lesson, I used digital media to make the learning process more interesting, interactive, and enjoyable for the students. At the beginning of the lesson, I used Canva to present the learning material. Canva helped me explain the topic with colorful slides, pictures, and simple examples. The visual presentation made it easier for the students to understand the lesson and kept them focused during the class. I also asked several simple questions while presenting the slides to encourage students to participate and share their ideas. After explaining the material, I continued the lesson with a gamification activity using Wordwall. This activity was used to check the students' understanding in a fun way. First, I invited 2 students to come to the front of the class. One student spun the Wordwall wheel, and the wheel randomly selected a question related to the material they had just learned. After that, the students answered the question orally. The activity continued until every pair had a chance to participate. While the students were answering, I observed their responses and assessed their understanding of the lesson. This activity helped me evaluate their learning while keeping the classroom active and engaging. Now I would like to show you how I use Wordwall with my students during the lesson. First, I invite 2 students to come to the front of the class. One student spins the Wordwall wheel, and it randomly selects a question related to the material they have just learned. Then, the students answer the question orally. While they are answering, I observe their responses and assess their understanding of the lesson. This activity makes the review session more fun, interactive, and engaging. It also encourages students to participate actively and helps them build their confidence in answering questions in English. At the end of the lesson, I gave each student a speaking card. They will use this speaking card in the next meeting for a speaking activity. By giving the card in advance, students have enough time to prepare their ideas and practice their speaking before the next class.
In the second lesson, I used Google Classroom and Genially to support the learning process.
Before the class started, I posted an announcement in Google Classroom for the next lesson. I also shared a link that directed the students to a Genially learning portal that I had prepared for this class. This made it easy for students to access the learning materials and activities. During the lesson, I used Canva to explain the topic, giving opinions. The presentation included simple explanations, examples, and practice activities to help students understand how to express their opinions in English. Before explaining the learning activities, I would like to show you the questions and interactive tasks that I created in Genially. These activities were designed to help students review the material, practice their understanding, and stay actively engaged throughout the lesson. In Genially, I created 4 levels of interactive questions with a farming theme. In this activity, the students take care of 4 different animals, and each level represents one animal. The first level is the chicken. In this level, the students need to feed the chicken. However, before they can do that, they must answer a question correctly. If their answer is correct, the chicken lays an egg, and the egg becomes their point. The students continue answering questions to collect as many eggs as possible. Once they collect all the points and complete the level, they can move on to the next level and continue the game. This game-based activity makes the learning process more enjoyable and encourages students to stay motivated while reviewing the lesson. After completing the first level, the students continue to the next levels by taking care of a cow, a sheep, and a pig. The rules are the same for each level. Before feeding the animal, the students must answer a question correctly. If they answer incorrectly, they have to restart that level from the beginning. However, they do not need to restart the entire game, only the level they are currently playing. Once the students successfully complete all 4 levels, they have finished taking care of all 4 animals. As proof of completion, they take a screenshot of the final result and submit it through Google Classroom. Now, I would like to show you how the learning activity was carried out using Genially.
Udah sampai apa? Lomba. Berarti udah farming apa aja?
At the end of the lesson, I reminded the students to open the Genially link that I had shared in Google Classroom. They explored the interactive website and completed the quiz provided there. Genially made the learning experience more engaging and interactive, and it increased the students' interest and motivation to learn.
In the third lesson, I used Google Classroom and Mentimeter to support the learning process. During the class, I first explained the material about advertisements using a presentation. We discussed the definition, purpose, structure, language features, and several examples of advertisements. Now, I would like to show you how the learning activity was carried out using Mentimeter. After the explanation, I invited the students to join a quiz on Mentimeter using their own smartphones. They entered the game by using the code provided on the screen. For each question, students earned points if they answered correctly. However, Mentimeter also considered how quickly they answered each question.
Jenis starter mana yang menjelaskan produk itu dibuat untuk apa? A, B, C. 5 ya. Jenis struktur yang mana yang menjelaskan tentang produk itu untuk apa? Produknya itu untuk apa? Jenis struktur yang mana?
Dia ngajarkan.
This means that students who answered correctly in a shorter time received higher scores. At the end of the quiz, the leaderboard showed the students with the highest scores. Through this activity, I was able to assess the students' understanding of the material while creating a fun, interactive, and competitive learning environment.